Welcome back, everybody. We're back in Windows 10 today, and I wanted to talk about privacy settings because this is something that is pretty important to a lot of people, especially moving to Windows 10 with Cortana and many of the sort of data mining features that are built into Cortana and Search and Windows 10 in general. So let's start by looking at some search options. So when you open up the search sort of menu here, and sometimes if you haven't changed this before, you may have a show search box. Same thing when you just click in the search box. So that is why that may look different to some people, but I like the search icon, makes the taskbar nice and clean, I think. Anyway, click on that and go to the gear, and you will find settings, and here you've got the master control for turning Cortana on and off. This will stop data collection, but it does not delete anything that Cortana has already collected about you. I believe that you can alter that. You click that link and it will bring you to a Windows website. You can sign in and alter some of those settings, what's actually stored by Microsoft, on their servers in the cloud somewhere. But otherwise, this settings will let you just turn Cortana off. I did that right from the beginning, so I don't really have to worry about what's being stored in the cloud. Then the other setting here is just to turn on or off online searching and web results. To me, I will keep that off. For one thing, search in Windows 10 seems to be the easiest way to find apps and settings and things, because you can't customize your start menu very well, because the File Explorer is very cluttered, because you have both control panels and settings. You have a lot of duplication of options and a confusing organizational structure. The best way to find stuff is search. So if I'm searching for things like control panel settings or files or folders, I don't want web searches popping up here. It just would become cluttered and not useful to me personally. Other people may find it to be different. I'm just curious what that button is. Oh, that's to turn on Cortana, apparently, a shortcut button. The only reason I guess that is because apparently the Cortana logo is just a circle. I don't know. It's a confusing button. Anyway, yeah, so that's what that does. So let's also talk about some other privacy settings. Now you can go into the search settings here and click other privacy settings, and that will bring you right to it. Otherwise, you can go into settings here and privacy. Now in here you'll find sort of, did you see that? I can't drag this window. I bet it's because this is the bar and this is not. Okay, more really annoying interface design that I'm discovering. You can't actually tell if your mouse is clicking on the actual title bar if you want to move a window, because it's all monochrome. Okay, but we're talking about privacy today. So let's just go through these quick. Let apps use my advertising ID. I don't know specifically what this is, but I assume that it's kind of like an Apple ID with on an iPhone or an iPad, that kind of thing. I don't really want I don't want tracking for the purposes of advertising and marketing, so I keep that off. Turn on Smart Screen Filter to check web content that Windows Store apps use. Well, I don't I might as well just turn that off because I don't plan on ever using Windows Store apps. But it's good to point out here, maybe I will leave it on, because I actually don't know what this is. There's no description of what that means. What Smart Screen is. This may mean maybe certain hyperlinks will open up the store instead of a website. I don't know. Send Microsoft info about how I write to improve typing. Now this, I think this is just like general for their own improvement of software rather than collecting information specifically to target you for advertising or to, let the Cortana service do its job or something. This looks like a general improvement feature. And then access my language list. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's kind of standard feature for web searches to localize, which is sometimes very helpful if you're, say, trying to find a restaurant in your city. You don't want web results from some other country or some other city. On the other hand, it limits what you see when you do searches, and kind of limits your perspective. So that's something to consider there. All right, I'll try and go a little bit faster here. Location information, this is a desktop PC, so I'm just going to keep that off. It wouldn't help me anyway. So let's see, location history. It's never been on, so there is no location history. But then you'll see a list of apps that can use your location and whether you've allowed it or not. It's very similar for the camera. I don't actually have my webcam plugged in, so I think I'm just going to turn that off because actually, again, I don't use apps. Apparently Edge counts as an app though, which is a bit weird. But yeah, I'll control specifically when I want to use my camera, I think. Microphone, yeah, again, let's just turn that off. Speech inking and typing, so this is sort of the Cortana calibration information, I believe. So if you click here, yeah, this is essentially giving you access to all of that information. Sorry, giving Windows access to all this information: your contacts, your calendars, your speech, your handwriting patterns. It's pretty comprehensive. So I am leaving that off as well. Account info: let apps access my name, picture, other account information. I don't know how I feel about this either, but again, I don't use apps, so I might as well default to off. Contacts, now, contacts, I'm assuming that means whatever you've stored in Microsoft Contacts, so I don't know if that's part of sort of the Mail app or whatever, but I don't use Microsoft services for email or for contacts or anything, so I think this doesn't matter, to me at least. Calendar, again, I don't use the Microsoft Calendar, so I don't have to worry about that. Messaging, let apps read or send text messages. This could be used for, like verifying an account, that sort of thing, send you a verification text. But again, I don't use apps, so I guess I'll just turn it off. Radios, so this will be like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever. So let's see, what else do we have? Sync with devices. If you have any other Microsoft devices, which odds are you don't, since the market share of Windows Mobile is like 2.5%. So 2 or 3 of you out of 100 might have another Windows device. And I know the math there isn't entirely correct because perhaps the market share amongst Windows users already is higher, but details. So sync with devices, use trusted devices. Right now I have a Kindle plugged into my PC just to charge. So when I delete this, it'll disappear. Sorry, when I unplug the Kindle, this should disappear. But I don't have any, there's nothing using the Kindle. The phone companion is not something that I'm using. This is feedback, so occasionally Windows will ask you, what you think about a feature or something, which is an interesting idea because you can actually Windows Feedback is an app, and if you go in here, you can actually see what everybody else is complaining about and asking about, which is kind of cool. I mean, this is very public. You can easily see what people are not liking, what errors people are having, what bugs they find, what features are missing. So this is pretty bold by Microsoft to just make all of that public. So props to them for that. But anyway, you can ask how often it will prompt you to leave feedback. And then the good old diagnostic and usage data. I believe that it is anonymized, so in that case I don't really mind giving them usage data. And background apps, what apps are allowed to run in the background. I could probably turn a bunch of these off, like I don't think this is the clock or the calendar. This is just operating system, date and time control panel thing. So I don't use any of this stuff, so why don't I just turn it all off? Actually Edge as well, because my main browser is Chrome right now. I don't think that I will use Edge, because I am a real stickler for web standards, and although Edge is an improvement, it still is not nowhere near up to the level of meeting the standards that the other browsers are. So, okay, that is privacy settings. If anybody has any other experience with privacy settings and sort of the data collection and usage type of stuff in Windows 10 that I have missed, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear that and check it out and make sure that I'm aware of it, and then also share it with the broader community. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. So I hope everybody found this useful. If you did, please leave a like on the video. That's always much appreciated and really helps the channel get to a healthy state, as that is my goal. So until next time, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you when I've got some more to share.